Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As myself Venkat, as you know, I'm pursuing my engineering at Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering, Bangalore. Today, I'm here to discuss the topic solid waste management, and the course code is BESCK204A, and course title is Introduction to Civil Engineering. Now, let's dive into the topic solid waste management. The agenda of today's topic is what is solid waste management and its sources, category of solid waste and their components. First, let's know what is solid waste management. The waste generated from human and animal activities that are normally solid and are discarded as useless or unwanted are called as solid wastes. Any useless or unwanted or discarded materials that is not a liquid or a gas is called solid waste. Due to rapid increase in production and hence in consumption process, human society generates and rejects solid materials regularly from various sectors such as agricultural, commercial, domestic, industrial, institutional, etc. The considerable volume of waste thus generated and rejected is called solid waste. Now let's know the sources of solid waste. First comes garbage and ashes and residues, combustible and non-combustible wastes, bulky wastes, biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste, dead animals, abandoned vehicles, construction and demolition waste, hazardous waste. Here, the garbage is a waste that is generated from the residences, industries, waste and the ashes are nothing but the waste generated from burning. Here, the bulky waste refers to the waste generated in the large volume, and the biodegradable waste or the waste. For example, for biodegradable wastes are the waste generated from food, like food waste or organic waste, or non-biodegradable wastes are like plastics and the abandoned vehicles. After the usage of vehicles, the owners of the vehicle they just abandon the vehicles in an or dump the vehicles in an empty site. And the hazardous wastes are generated from the industries, chemical industries, and hospitals, like the needles of an injection or the medicines used or the mask or gloves. And next comes the category of solid waste. First come the domestic and residential, industrial, commercial, institutional, construction and demolition, municipal waste, open area, street sweeping, process and manufacturing, agriculture. Here the first of all, the waste is most commonly generated from the residential areas, from homes. Then comes the industrial, commercial, institutional. From industrial and institutional and commercial, the most of the waste generated is paper and wood. And even from the construction and demolition, after the construction of building, if the building is of no use, then they just demolish the building, and the waste generated from it is very high. And the waste generated from sweeping of roads and processing and manufacturing is the waste generated from the automobile sector or the manufacturing sector, and the agricultural wastes. And next comes the components of solid wastes. Here first comes the generation of solid waste. Generation of solid waste, it is the initial stage where waste is created. It includes residential, commercial, industrial and institutional sources. First of all, the generation of solid waste starts from the home. That means the residential areas itself. Then it goes to the commercial, industrial, and institutional level. In residential level, we get the waste such as food waste, uh, and from industrial and institutional level, we get the generation of waste is a bit more, such as papers and plastic. The papers can be recycled, but the plastics cannot be recycled. Next comes the waste handling. Handling of waste refers to the activities associated with managing solid wastes until they are placed in a containers used for storage before collection or return to drop off and recycling centers. Here, waste handling refers to handling of waste before the collection of waste. That means we can just manage the waste by collecting them or storing them in a container before collecting the waste so that it doesn't get decomposed. And there is the recycling centers. And next comes the Waste storage. Here, waste storage. It's the first phase to manage solid waste at home level. It requires temporary storage of refuse on the premises. The individual, household, or businessman has a responsibility for on-site storage of solid waste. Collection. The term collection includes not only gathering or picking up solid waste from various sources, but also loading of these wastes to the disposal site or transfer station and unloading there. Next comes here the waste storage refers. As in the early stage we know waste handling. The for handling of waste we need to first store the waste. Here the initial phase begins from our home where we store the waste in small bins and we segregate them as paper bins and plastic bins. And and in industrial areas, even in the industries and institutions, that the generation of waste is very much. So we use large containers for storing of waste in industries. Then comes collection. Here the uh, collection term refers to gathering or picking up solid waste from the industries or from various sectors before before the transfer of waste before the transferring of waste from the collection site to the disposal site. Next comes the transfer and transport. Transfer and transport refers to the means and facilities used to effect the transfer of waste from one location to another, usually more distant location. Typically, the waste from relatively small collection vehicles are transferred to larger vehicles and then transported to distant locations. Resource recovery and processing. Here, resource recovery is a partial solid waste disposal and reclamation process. It is expected to achieve waste reduction in future landfill volumes requirement resource recovery and must reorganize what is worth recovering and what is worth recovering. Next comes the disposal. Most of the organic content after segregation may be subjected to bacterial decomposition with an end product called humus or compost. The humus and compost can be used in the agricultural sector. The entire process involving both separation and bacterial conversion is known as composting. Decomposition of solid waste may be accomplished aerobically or anaerobically. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe.